I'm Brittany Lewis, a breaking news reporter here at Forbes. Joining me now is Congressman Byron Donalds. Congressman, I appreciate you coming on.
Oh, it's good to be on. Thanks for having me.
Of course, and I do want to take a trip down memory lane with you. I haven't spoken with you yet, but one of my Forbes colleagues did before the midterms last year, about 15 months ago. And in that really long conversation you had with him, you said the biggest issue facing voters is inflation. Now, fast forward over a year, we're sitting here now. Do you think that's the biggest issue facing Americans as we speak?
Yes, because the administration is trying to give us this line about inflation is down. Well, the inflation rate has gone down, but the impact of inflation over the last 2.5 years has impacted every American. Food prices, electricity prices, travel, airfare, you name it, it's all up and up significantly. So if you take the cumulative effect of this inflation unleashed on our country by Joe Biden and his crazy policies, the cumulative effect is about 15 to 16% overall in price increases. Now listen, if you're a wealthy American or even an upper middle class American, you can weather it, find a way through it, and make some adjustments in your life, but you can get through it. But if you're a poor American, if you're a senior on fixed income, this crushes you and it's having serious effects. I've had conversations with people throughout the country, actually a friend of mine the other day, and the conversation was like, have you seen the price of a loaf of bread? It's like $4 right now when it used to be $2. Those consumer staples, those things everybody needs to survive, the cost has gone up so much, and that is still crippling so many Americans.
I do want to talk about that because I talked about the most recent CPI report last week with a Forbes colleague, and the consensus that they came to was inflation is at a 2-year low, and that's a huge but, because prices are remaining sticky. And yes, gas prices are down. Yes, the price of eggs are down, but rent prices are still high. Automobile related prices are still high. Those prices that are impacting the everyday American are still high. So what's Congress doing right now to fix it?
Well, the number one thing we're trying to do here on Capitol Hill is cut spending. We're really trying to make sure we pull as much money that needs to be spent, and we pull it out of what the government does, so it comes out of our economy. You get inflation by the government pumping too much money into an economy, chasing too few goods. That's what occurred. And if we're going to be technical, what Joe Biden did when he came into office is he created a labor shortage in the United States by paying people to stay home. That's what he did. And it's created this massive inflation. So the first thing we're doing is cutting federal spending. The second thing that we need to seriously do is have serious energy production in the United States. These Green New Deal technologies that the left wants to take us down, that's great for countries like China because they're the ones mining all the minerals and they're the ones creating the components that get assembled in some other country or even assembled in the United States. But increased energy costs will only allow this inflation to continue to be sticky. We need fossil fuels because fossil fuels is how you get the stock you need for fertilizer. Fertilizer costs are up 150, 200%. Well, what that means is the price of food is up as a result because you need fertilizer in order to grow crops. You need fertilizer in order to make sure you have grass, and feedstock for cows and for hogs and everything like that. So you have to be energy sufficient and proficient domestically here at home. I believe that's a mixture of nuclear power, that's a mixture of natural gas, and yes, it's a use of oil and even coal in some instances. But we got to get away from this thought process that we can massively subsidize Green New Deal energy technologies and think that's not going to have a serious economic impact on working families in our country.